like that guitar, don't you?
That's the exact neck. That's the exact neck I want to right there. That's that.
You like that whip?
Perfect.
Yeah, I like it too.
I used to like a real small neck, but I like this one because it's flat, but it's got a good amount of.
Get my low tech set up.
They sure you got a big sound with that.
I do it in C now. I used to do it in D.
Well,
And whenever I play with the Bluegrass Boys, we do it in D. But I do it in C. Because it just sounds weird if you're by yourself doing it real high like that. I don't know. What kind of camera is that?
This is it's called the GoPro. It's an HD camera. And they use them to jump off cliffs and skydive and stuff like that.
we're just about to do that right now.
Yeah, we're all going to jump off a cliff right here in a minute.
You'll be using this.
Pretty much.
You know Lefty song?
Which one? Play the one.
No, you do. No. You play one. No, just, yeah, I was going to see if you know a Lefty song.
What do you want to do? Say name.
No, you do it. I want
I
to hear
don't
you
know.
do a Lefty. Do you
I
know
can't
a
do a
Lefty?
lefty song.
All right, kids. You ready?
I need to learn one.
You know any Lefty song?
I've
He's
never
going to
known.
get you for that. He's going to come get you
No,
for that.
I'll leave people that can sing it.
Oh, no, you, hey,
I
if
can't.
Jimmy Fortune sings it, it's done.
Let's
It's
hear Elizabeth.
yeah.
Oh, Elizabeth, I long to see your pretty face. I long to touch your lips. I long to feel your warm embrace. Don't know if I can ever live my life without you. Oh, Elizabeth, I'm sure missing you. I remember when we shared life together, and you gave me strength and love and life that felt brand new. You're so far away, I have to say I'm feeling blue. And oh, Elizabeth, I'm sure missing you. Oh, Elizabeth, I long to see your pretty face. I long to touch your lips. I long to feel your warm embrace. Don't know if I can ever live my life without you. Oh, Elizabeth, I'm sure missing you. Well, it's been said before that I've caused many heartaches. And well, I wonder if that part's really true. Be it right or wrong, it feels my heart would surely break. And oh, Elizabeth, I hope you understand. Oh, Elizabeth, I long to see your pretty face. I long to touch your lips.
my two compadres who are stuffed to the gills with pork. How you
How do you
say it?
ever sing like that?
It's about right here, I think, right now. I had it right here until I started singing
Man,
that
I
song.
got all new respect.
This man can flat cook.
Well,
man.
thank you. I got goosebumps, man. I love your voice, Jimmy.
Well, I
That song
appreciate it.
is so epic.
Well, I was saying before, I did it when I did it with the Statler Brothers. That was actually the first song I ever wrote, was Elizabeth.
Really?
And, yeah.
First song you ever wrote. For
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
You know, before I worked 6 nights a week, sometimes 7 nights a week. I had 2 jobs, and I just never. I always felt like I could write, but I never really had time to really sit
Hang
down
on a
and do it.
second.
Yeah.
Hey guys. All right, we're back.
Can you edit that out?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's anything happens at Bear's house. You never know what's going to happen. My 2-year-old may walk in and go screaming. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, and I always felt like I could write a song, you know. And when the Statler Brothers hired me, I knew Lou DeWitt wrote songs, and they hired me back in 1982, and eventually became a full-time thing because he was recovering, or actually.
Now, weren't you singing at a ski resort or something like that?
Yeah, well, Lou actually, well, to back up a little bit, Lou, it was Thanksgiving 1981. Actually, the night before Thanksgiving, I actually had a night off. First night I had off in like 6 years, you know. And I had some friends of mine who were playing at a ski resort and asked me to come up and sit in and jam with them.
One night off.
So one night off, and I go up to that night and jam with them, and lo and behold, Lou DeWitt's there, you know. And of course, he's from that area, and
Yeah.
the Statler Brothers, and he was always one of my heroes. I mean, I just loved him, and I loved the Statler Brothers. I loved his singing, his writing. Of course, he wrote "Flowers on the Wall," the very first hit record Statler's ever had. And he heard me singing that night. I was singing some Roy Orbison stuff and some John Denver things, and he just came up and said, "Man, I love your singing." And he said, "I hope I get to see you again. Maybe we can pick together sometime or something like that, you know." And I thought I'd never hear from him again, you know. But I thought it was really neat that I got to talk to him.
That's
So
amazing.
he, lo and
So you never
behold,
know how these things happen.
yeah,
Just
like
you know.
right after Christmas, I got a call from the Statler Brothers to come over and audition.
Were you nervous?
Actually, I didn't know what it was about. I knew Lou suffered from Crohn's disease.
Right.
And he was going to have surgery and go in the hospital for a while. So I was the first name out of his mouth when they sat down and talked about it. He said, I heard a kid from across the mountain, and at that time I was 26 years old, and he said, I think he could, if you guys would give him a chance, I think he could do it, you know, if y'all don't want somebody, you know, close to home here,
Right.
and give somebody a break, you know. And so they called me. I was the first one there, and they held auditions in Nashville. They told me,
Yeah.
I came and met them, and then we actually went to Harold's house and sang around the piano, and you know, I could sing his parts on the songs that I knew. I knew a lot of album cuts, but I knew most of the hits, you know.
What kind of stuff were you singing before that?
I was in a cover band. We played everything. We did everything from you know, rock and roll, disco, to country, to bluegrass, to, and then I had our family had sang gospel music, you know, from when I was a kid. But I sang.
Because before we started, he was over here playing some Doobie Brothers.
I used to have to play a lot of that stuff, you know, a lot of the
Now,
old.
our buddy John Cowan could not be here tonight because
I wish he could, man.
He's a quitter.
He is.
No, he's out with the Doobies right
He's
now.
the best.
Yeah,
He's the best.
and that would have been
Not a-
cool to have the three of you
He's not
guys.
a greater singer in the world than John.
Well, and how'd you meet this guy?
How'd you meet this guy?
When I moved to Nashville after Stat was retired, which has been 9 years ago, if you can believe that or not,
Wow.
almost 9 years ago. And of course I knew of David. Matter of fact, they had a few shows for us on the road, you know,
Yeah.
from time to time. But back then, you know, we'd do a show, the Stat Brothers, we'd do a show, and we'd go there 5 minutes before the show, get on stage, do it, and 5 minutes after the show, we were on the bus headed out
Yeah.
somewhere else. And never really got to meet many people and talk to many people. You know, I kind of shook their hand and said, hey, you know, that's about it, you know. But it was a pretty much a business thing. I mean, we went on the road to do
How many
a job.
dates a year did you guys do?
Well, we probably average 120 dates a year, probably. You know,
That's a lot of work.
and so, you know, a lot of days on the road too. But that was actual dates, you know. And then as time went on, you know, we got the TV show back in the 90s, and,
Right.
and we cut it back to like 40 dates a year, and plus we were doing the TV show. But I moved to Nashville when the Statler was retired, or shortly after. And when I came down here, I can remember the first time we met. But it just seems like I've known him all my life. But we got together doing some shows. I think Leroy Van Dyke put together some shows. And I love Leroy Van Dyke. He's another one of my heroes. I mean, he's 82 years old. 82 years old and still can sing his butt off and work you in the ground.
Go lift the car up and change the tire.
I can't keep up with him, and he's just a wonderful person, and we loved him. He kind of got us together, you know,
That's cool.
and then meeting him and people like that, and Dave and I became great friends, and I love his whole family. Of course, Lefty, you know, knew of Lefty too, and then of course Dave and his career, and Shelley. They're the best duo.
Now this man will wear your ass out. When we first hooked up and started working together, David would go, "Okay, Bear, I've got an idea." And he'd call me over the phone. I go, "God, that's killer." You go, "Yeah, and I got this idea too."
Oh yeah.
And pretty soon it was like 100 ideas, and I would go, "David, stop! Stop right now, you're killing me."
One of the most creative men I've ever known. His mind is always going. And like me, you know, I kind of lay it down for a while, and I just don't even want to think about it a little bit.
He's a
But
machine.
I tried to, I can't do that.
And, well, it's just that makes you who
He's
you
like
are.
the damn Terminator. I swear.
Oh,
The guy's
yeah.
up all night.
Yeah.
He still writes.
Never
plays.
eat or sleep, you know,
Still
except
one
for
of the
eating.
greatest singers in the world. Wrote this Lefty book that is incredible
Yes,
about
it
his
is.
brother and his family, and it is an incredible book. And I love this man, and I'm not saying just because I'm right in front of him. I call him up and say, "How's my best friend in the world?" But I mean, if I don't see him for a while, I've got to get him fixed because that's the kind of
me
person.
too. Yeah.
Just gotta hear your voice, man.
You know, it's kind of funny because I got on Facebook earlier today and I said, "Hey, Jimmy Fortune's coming over and David Frizzell's coming over." And I said, "You know, if you'd have told me even a year ago that I'd be sitting in my living room with you two clowns doing this show."
You know what is so great about this man here is that not only is obviously he's one of my favorite singers.
Me too.
John Calvin, but you certainly are. But there's something about being around like if you're kind of down, you know, you might be something happening, or maybe a friend of yours is maybe not feeling well, or maybe that happened with me. And who did I call? I called Jimmy. But Jimmy has this thing about him that just makes you feel better already, just because he's in the room or something. But I called Jimmy one time. This is the truth. This was a good friend of mine, great friend of mine, one of my best friends in the world on the West Coast, had some cancer problem, and he was getting ready to go back in for that other surgery, as you remember. I called Jimmy and said, "Jimmy, you got to just come and help me with this." Jimmy came over, and a whole bunch of people got around. We called people all over the country, and Jimmy said a prayer. Is this all right to talk about this?
Well, yeah, of course.
Well,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And Jimmy said a prayer, and everybody around the country heard it all at the same time. And that man went in there, had that operation, and he's fabulous today still.
Yeah.
That's
And it's one of those that would take you out. You know, one of those that would take you out if you didn't go well. You know.
I consider myself one of the most blessed people in the world, and I really mean that. I mean, I feel very blessed because, to me, God's been good to me, giving me friends like you guys, and I consider. I always say, if you're in this business, to me, if you're in this business and you don't love people, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And I can honestly say, if there's anything, I mean, I have my faults in my life. I'm not perfect by any means, but I can say one thing about myself. I do know that I love people.
Yeah.
And I feel that love when I see someone, and I make that connection. Now, I've run into some people that don't want to be loved. I have run into people like that.
Yeah, there are.
And I can tell it, and I can feel it, and I never try to force it on anybody. I never would do that, you know. But it would be. I had a guy one time come up to me. He'd been sitting back and watching me for a while. I guess we're in a crowd of people. He said, "How can you be so happy all the time?" And I said, "Well, I'm not happy all the time." He said, "I don't trust people that are happy all the time." And I said, "Well, you know, I'm not like that." But I said, "I've got a choice when I get up in the morning. I've got a choice I can make when I get up in the morning and take my first breath. I can either be I can either be in a bad mood and just going to have a bad day, or I can get up and say, hey, I'm going to make the best of this day. I'm going to be as good as I can be because I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. And that's exactly the way I try to live my life, is to be that way.
I have a letter from Chet on my wall right over here in this office, and I wrote him because I felt kind of bad. You brought this to the top of my brain for a moment. Frizzell hasn't killed it yet. I know you did. But Chet wrote me this letter, and it was really profound because in it, I felt bad about when I left Nashville to move to Idaho. I felt kind of weird about leaving everything the way I did, kind of undone, and there was just a lot of things that I wanted to do better.
Right.
And he wrote me back. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, look, he said, 99%, if you invoke the golden rule as often as you can, do the best you can, 99% of the people love you and screw the rest. That's what it says. I have that over on the wall.
99%. I don't know if that percentage is that high.
Well,
Yeah, for me, I do know that if I walk out of here tonight and the sky starts falling, I'm gonna look around and try to find Jimmy because I know he's going to the right place. I'm gonna hang on to him because I know he's going where I want to be.
And if you left tonight and we all died tonight, we had good pork.
We did all that, and that might actually take us out right there.
I've been to heaven and feasted at the table. So I will tell you this, man.
I want you both to come and be on my cooking show too.
If you can stand to eat what I cook, I'll
help you out.
Okay.
Your wife said you don't cook very good. Is that true?
Toast.
Got that toast.
Water.
Can you make some good toast?
Oh yeah, I can fix you some toast.
We'll do some toast.
A lot of butter.
Butter. Elvis liked butter, so it's got to be good.
And I mean, I can go in the kitchen and try to fry an egg, and she'll come in and look and go, "What happened? What happened here? And what is that?" I said, "That's the egg." Are you going to eat that? No.
See, you might have noticed I've been anorexia. But when I was on the road, I'm bulimic and haven't learned to purge. No, when I was on the road, everybody would come to my room because when everybody else is packing all their stuff to go, I had a hot plate, spatulas, cooking utensils. I cooked in my room, man. I like to cook, and so I had a buddy. I played with C.J. Chenier, and so those guys are all Cajuns. And old Hump, the rugboard player. He would buy lobsters.
What was his name?
Hump. Clifford Alexander.
Of course it was. That's his name.
I don't know how he earned the name, don't want to know. But, there's laws that were broken, I'm sure, but somewhere along the line. But anyway, they would come to my room because I would cook in coffee pots. And I would, I learned how to cook my dad was a truck driver. Wow. And so he had told me about making, meatloaf and pot roast on the engine block. Using tinfoil and wrap it all up, put it in there. About 300 miles later, you're ready to eat.
You're talking about giving you gas.
I never thought about anything.
But it's because it stays
engine.
at a constant temperature pretty much.
Well, I could.
So it's really even cooking, And
that makes sense.
Heat, why waste the heat, right?
I would have never
Seize the
thought
day.
Well, I would like to try it sometimes. Like I said, my wife knows that I could use a few cooking lessons.
I had a contest with Brother Lefty one time. We're on the road. We're going to see who made the best soup. Who could make the best soup? And
in a cowboy boot or just
and the bus that we had. Who's going to make the best soup? And I beat him. I tell you what. I took a can of Campbell's. I put it in a pot, and I filled that up with milk, not water, but milk. Well, maybe a little water.
Okay.
And I poured that in the pot. And then I put black pepper in there, and I'm just starting to get it going. Just starting to get the heat going. And I put the pepper in there. Put just exactly the amount of pepper you need, and then I put 3 shakes of hot sauce.
Oof.
Louisiana hot sauce.
Man.
Louisiana hot sauce, man. And then I put a slab of butter in it, got it going, and stirred it as it was going. Kept the stirring.
You said a slab, but you went like that.
A slab of butter.
Slab to me.
Yeah, put a stick of butter.
Not an Elvis butter. Just a John Calvin butter. Just a little piece of slab.
Dabble do you.
And if you don't keep stirring it, because it'll scorch. So,
Right.
so you can't let it scorch. That's Lefty's favorite.
What
was
what kind of
left
soup? Tomato?
Tomato.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
mentioned,
I love
I mentioned
soup.
tomato,
I do tomato.
but that was his favorite soup. I made it for him every time.
You know, he used to make really good tomato soup and cheese sandwich, fried cheese
Oh, that's
sandwiches.
my favorite. He's now.
Chet, be over at Chet's office, and Chet would go, "You hungry?" You know, Pope Catholic. Look at me. You know.
Well, I mean,
Look at me.
that's one man.
I'm always gonna eat.
That's one man that he's missed. I tell you.
Oh, I know,
He's
Chad.
in this town, you know,
Oh, man.
and everything. I hear the stories about him. You know,
Lot of
I didn't
stories.
really ever get to know him like that. You know, I met him a few times, but I never.
You know, he did the funniest thing when we were at a golf tournament, and it was, can't remember whose golf tournament it was now, top of my head, but we were playing with Charlie Walker, because I was playing in the band with Charlie then too, and Chet had gotten me the gig, and Charlie, and Chet hardly ever said a word when we were out golfing. He'd just drive along. Charlie had this reporter with him. For some reason, I can't remember what magazine or whoever they were with, there was a couple. And he kept going on and on and on, you know, about the ex-wives. You know, Charlie was married, I think, 7 times or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch. I don't know that for a fact. I think it was, you know, it was quite a few. And anyway, Chet didn't say a word the whole day. And Charlie was over there talking to these reporters, and he was down looking at his shot, and he had it kind of lined up, and he goes, "Charlie, what the hell did you do to piss off all them women?" That's all he said. When we got back in the cart, we drove off. I was driving the cart, and I didn't know what to say after that. It was really awkward. But that was Chet.
Must be
Just,
enough
you know,
said on that, probably.
Yeah.
yeah, he did a really mean thing to Chuck Ainley. Chuck had kind of pre-mixed a little song that Chet had cut. And Chuck tells the story way better, but it's hilarious because, you know, Chet was really dry. If you knew him, he had a dry sense of humor. And he was sitting at the console, and Chuck was so proud of this mix that he just thrown together for Chet to listen to. And so he played it, and Chet knew how to just be emotionless. He was kind of sitting there, and Chuck goes, "Well, what do you think? You know, what do you think?" He goes, "I think I could have pressed 3 records and had them out and already had all the sales done and got them walked off." Just trying to be funny. But Chuck thought he, you know, I could have had 3 records produced and out the door and on the radio by now. The time it took you, I mean, he was just messing with it. Chuck's going to be on. I can't wait for him to tell that story.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard this about Chet. He was sitting playing a guitar one day, and some guy was listening, and the guy said, "Man, that guitar sounds good." And said, Chet picked the guitar up and put it over in the stand and said, "Now how's it sound?"
He did do it. You know, another one.
That's true.
And another,
Also, that is
I'll
true.
tell you, the one that really I laughed every time I heard it, because I heard him tell it many times, but he went on a cruise, and he didn't shave, so he had a beard. It was one of the rare times in his life that he had a beard. And he was on the cruise ship, and he was sitting on the deck and had his guitar out, was playing his guitar, and this guy sat down and listened to him for like a half an hour. And finally goes, "Hey, you're pretty good, son, but you ain't no Chet Atkins." You got it walked off. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, you need to play me a song.
Yeah, play something.
Play
Let me
Play
see.
something on it.
Okay.
I love that guitar.
I stole that from Jerry Reed.
I love that.
Jerry Reed, rest in peace. I love this one. I've used it for years.
That is so good.
Let's see.
Well, look at that. Well,
No. Here, let me. Here, actually, you know what I wanted? You know, you don't want to hear me play. It don't matter.
yeah, no, you really play, so.
Yeah, no.
Please.
I want to hear you two sing a song.
Oh,
Oh, well, we'll sing something with you. We'll sing something. I want to hear you play.
Yeah,
first.
play
I'll play a
something.
little short snippet. Okay, and then here we go. This one I just wrote just now, a few seconds ago.
Is it finished?
Leprosy. Body parts are falling off of me. I'm not half the man I used to be. Oh, I'm weakly. I've got leprosy. There, you got it here. You got play something serious. Come on, we got people that really want to hear
I laughed at
this
that
too.
very serious song.
Yeah, it's kind of a heart wrencher.
I would
That one
say.
gets you.
God.
I love that guitar.
You know, though, me and Jimmy have, you know, I've been blessed to have Jimmy come and sing harmonies on some of my songs, on some of these CDs and stuff. And they're always so incredible when you do that, you know. And we did one, the last one we did was Goodbye, a song called Goodbye.
Yeah.
And Jimmy just makes that song stand up and has to be noticed, you know. We did several things in the past, and we did a song called Ordinary Joe, and one of the but in 2008, I had an idea to do a thing called Frizzell and Friends. Everybody wants to do a Friends thing.
Right.
And so I was talking about this Frizzell and Friends, and I was talking to my wife Jo. I said, I'd like to, maybe some great people, and we'll do some songs. I never really thought about doing duets with everybody. That wasn't the idea to start with. Just have us all on the same CD, Hag, you, me, and stuff. But it ended up where we did all duets. I did a duet with everybody. It was a great thing.
I love that.
And so I called Hag first, and Joe said, at first I said, I'm just see what Frizzell Friends. I said, yeah, I'll just call Merle and see if he wants to do something. She said, well, what if you don't have any friends?
That's a good
wife. To change the name of this.
That's a good wife for you.
I said, oh yeah. She'll bring it right down to reality, right? I always like to dream about stuff, but no, they bring them and take it down to the basic thing.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't know. So I called Merle. So I called Merle. He's on the road someplace, and I said, let's sing a song together with this project. He said, let's do Money. Let's do Money.
There you go.
Wow, I thought, hey, I know that one. Makes it easy on me. I already know the words. So I said, fantastic. I called Jimmy Fortune. Jimmy said, well, yeah, what do you want to do? Let's just find a song you want to do. I said, well, I wrote this song called, all right, well, let's do that one. I said, there's nothing to this. It's too easy. Hey, I got friends, for heaven's sake.
Everybody loves David. Everybody. But that just does not happen anymore. Those kind of things where people just get together like you guys did, that's so rare.
That's amazing.
And it's so needed. It needs to keep happening. There needs to be more of that.
Well, there's still one thing I love about when I came to Nashville, met David, and a lot of the other people that I heard stories about growing up, but I didn't really get to know them. Jim Ed Brown, Helen Cornelius, and people like that, and
Helen Cornelius is one of the greatest singers.
And just these people that, and again, Leroy Van Dyke, that have such a love for what they do. It ain't about the money. It really isn't about the money. Now, it's nice to be able to make a living, and everything like that. Now, who's going to say the money's not important? It is important to make a living if you're in this business. But the main thing is the love for it, and they love it. They still love it, and I love being around people like that that love the music and still creating new music.
That's what this show is all about, really. The whole show is about.
Writing
new
songs.
Money?
No, I don't make it. I don't know.
There's no money involved.
There's no money in this show.
There's no money involved. Well, we gotta go.
Now, don't cash that check I wrote y'all until next Thursday.
That's some good food.
There's a lot of different ways to pay.
That's right.
A lot of different ways
I don't
to
have
pay.
any money, but I can cook for you.
You know what, though, on that Frizzell and Friends thing, there was not even one act that went another different direction or did it. And none of them ever said, well, what's in there for me? Is there not even one of anybody I called.
It's a cool thing.
He wrote some great songs
I know.
for that. I mean,
Someday.
The writing was incredible on that.
First time he played me Someday, and I heard you and Helen do the backups on that, Jimmy, oh my God, I had goosebumps. Yeah. That's how I tell if a song is good.
The only thing is, on some of those songs, saying that, I can't sing it real soft. I've got to be, I got a gut wrench a lot of those high harmonies, and I just can't. I sing, a lot of people say, well, some people sing from here, some here. I sing from right here.
You're going to hear on the SIDEMAN Show.
And there's nothing left. It ain't there no more.
Down to the last tune.
And now TMZ is going to be, around your house going, the man who sings from his ass.
He's sung his leg off.
Look at that off.
Dealing, Frizz. Fine, make me cry, Frizzell. Go ahead. This is such a beautiful song.
I remember back some years ago, up in Washington State, I was through the store. They called my name and I took the stage, sang a song my brother made. I love you 8,000 ways. Mom and Dad wasn't on when Alice called and told me my brother was gone before his song was through. I wish we had we could say goodbye. We're all called to Mama's side. Doctors will know how they all try everything to keep her alive. Give us kids a little more time. I held her hand quite a while. I said, I love you, Mama, and she smiled. We sang Sweet Willie the day she died. Never said goodbye, and I wish we had a moment more, at least one more minute more, so we could say goodbye.
I am the luckiest man on the planet. You guys out there, you have no idea how cool it is to sit. I look at it. I don't know if you can see these. I got high def cameras. Look at that. Man, unreal, guys.
Just one thought about what you just said was one of the most amazing things I've ever been through in my lifetime. And I'm a guy that really loves music, anything, study music. I was in Bakersfield, California. I don't remember what year it was, 71 or 3 maybe. It was out at Haggard's place, and we're sitting on his balcony at his place when he lived in Bakersfield. Lefty's sitting right here. Lefty's sitting about like where you were. I'm standing here.
Now you know how I feel.
And I got Merle right here. And Brother Allen, sitting right over there, one of the great singers in our he is. And we're all switching songs. We're all singing songs. Merle sang one about Merle standing and he's singing right. He couldn't take his eyes off. Never took his eyes off of Lefty. Well, me either, basically. I'm looking at it too. And he sang a song about the Levi's touching the street, the gutter. I forget what song it was. But it absolutely floored. His voice is like had a resonator in it. It's like, his voice is the most incredible thing I ever heard. I'm standing there and I'm just absolutely dying. Lefty takes the guitar and he sings a song called My Wishing Room, and he said,